When it comes to Christmas, sometimes it's nice to just spice it up a little. And what's even better, using something that might have gone to waste. Today, I'm showing you how to transform fruit and vegetables into stunning low-waste beverages. So say goodbye to waste and say hello, delicious bevies. So today we are turning food waste into something you can drink. We are making Beet Kvass and we are making some old-fashioned shrubs. And if you don't know what a shrub is, it's an ancient drink that's been around for centuries and maybe in the last few years has had a bit of a revival. It's what they call a drinking vinegar, but they are flavoured with incredible things and you can literally do it with whatever old bit of veg or fruit and herbs from your garden and anything that might be in abundance. You can make these fantastic drinks. We're going to make a Beet Kvass, an apple pie shrub, a tomato and basil shrub, and a plum shrub. And if you want to know how to make any of these, the timestamps are in the description box down below and you can fast forward to the one you want to know about. But for now, we're going to go back a week or so in time and find out how to make these delicious infusions, probiotic goodness, and just absolutely sensational flavours for your taste buds. These are my low-waste, budget-friendly, festive sips and are absolutely amazing for mocktails, cocktails, and even that little hangover cure from maybe when you've had too many tipples the night before. So let's get into making these amazing beverages. Okay, here we are. It's 1 week earlier because we need to make all these so that they can ferment so that I can show you in the same video what they all end up looking like. As I said in the beginning, we're making Beet Kvass and fruit and vegetable shrubs. Now, a shrub is a drinking vinegar. It's a really fantastic way to use up things that are maybe starting to not look great. Obviously, you don't want moldy, but maybe, you know, like this tomato here, he's got a little split in him. I wouldn't necessarily want to eat him, but he'll be great for what we need. The same with beetroots, because beetroots, what usually happens with them, you buy them, you might pickle some, you might roast some, and then they might sit in the fridge and start to go a bit wrinkly or maybe a bit soft. So these amazing drinks are great ways to use up all of this stuff. Or it could even be that it's in the middle of summer and you've got an absolute abundance of strawberries in your garden and you don't know how to use them all up, which I can't ever imagine would happen, but you know what I mean. You can use some to make these drinks. It's a really great way to have something a little bit different during the festive time of the year, especially if you don't drink alcohol. These are a really elegant way to drink an awesome mocktail, or if you do drink booze, you can add some of these in too. And the Beet Kvass is a tale as old as time. They've been making it forever and it is packed full of like morning energy. It's often drunk as a little shot in the morning to kind of get you going. It's like nature's energy drink. These really are fantastic and they could not be easier to make. So we are gonna first start off with this Beet Kvass and then we will make the shrubs. Okay, so the Beet Kvass, we've got some beetroot, we've got a little bit of carrot because I had some, and then all we need is some salt and water. Now you can make a Beet Kvass using a little bit of whey, maybe if you have some milk kefir or something like that, but you also can just do it this way. It still ferments and it's still delicious and it still gives you all the goodness. It just maybe takes a tiny little bit longer because it doesn't have that crazy little bit of already fermented activation ready to go. So the only thing that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give these beets a little wash and I might chop off the very end, but we're going to keep all the skins on there. They're absolutely fine. This guy, I just peeled off the top because he's nice and firm. He was from my garden. He was growing. Lovely, lovely beetroot, almost candied. I mean, you can see here it's got beautiful rings in it, absolutely stunning, but had a very rooty top, but it's still good and fresh. So I'm just going to take that top off and we're going to cut everything into chunks and it's going to go into this large jar. Oh my God, honestly, look at that beetroot I grew. God, it is gorgeous. I mean, it seems a shame to be putting it in here just to be made into a drink, but luckily there's some more in the garden. And that's it. Into the jar they go. If you're looking for this recipe, as per usual, you can find it on my website. And all we have to do is add in some salt. Now this stuff is very coarse, but I'm gonna go right down to the bottom and get the stuff that's not so coarse because I don't have any sea salt. Ideally sea salt, but this will dissolve. So we'll go 1 and a little bit because we had 5 beetroots, and then we will cover it with 4 cups of water and it should be covered, but we'll see. Perfect. We're going to give it a little stir and pop on the lid. That is the Beet Kvass done. Now it's just got to sit on the side for about 5 days. And in 3 days we might start to see a few little bubbles, but I'll show you what happens during the process. But it can take anything up to 5, especially if your kitchen is a little bit cool. And then you're going to have the most amazing probiotic drink, all made in 2 minutes. And you use something that you may have already bought and just was left in the fridge. You may want to, every other day, open the lid and just let out any extra gas that's in there, because obviously we don't want this to explode. But we just leave it on the side and watch it bubble away. And then it goes into the fridge and we have got amazing probiotic homemade drink that is zero waste because you're not even peeling the beetroots or the carrots, and it's super hydrating and a great way to start your day. So that's that one done. We'll put it on the side and we'll move on to the shrubs. Now, shrubs. These really are one of my favorite ways to use up fruit. If you've seen my video on making lemon cheong, it's just up here. Another great way to use up fruit. This is essentially the exact same process, except we're adding to it vinegar. Now, there may be many of you out there asking, hey Del, what the hell is a shrub? What is a drinking vinegar? Well, these things have been around for centuries. I think the first one was recorded in the 15th century. That's a bloody long time ago. But essentially, it was a way for them to preserve stuff. Because, you know, they are this sweet but tart little syrup, and fantastic for a non-alcoholic beverage because these things are so frigging customizable, it's insane. So the first one that I'm going to make is just a straight up stone fruit. In this case, I've got some amazing Doris plums, and we're just going to make it super plain, super simple, so that you get the idea. Then we're going to move on to something a little bit more fancy. Essentially, you want a 1:1:1 ratio. As you can see here, I only have a very few Doris plums, but that doesn't matter. This is still going to be absolutely incredible, and why not use these up? Because really, what am I going to do with this? Not much. I've got 85 grams here of the fruit. I'm going to tear my scales and I'm going to add in 85 grams of sugar. And then I'm going to add in 85 grams of vinegar. Ideally, you want a cider vinegar. Look, hey, this is like the cheap stuff. If you have got the stuff with the mother in, even better. And once again, in the same way as the Beet Kvass, that is our shrub made. But what I'm gonna do is just kind of muddle it. If you had a muddler, you know, from a cocktail set, great. You could even maybe chop this up before you put it in. That might have made a bit more sense. Even though I've been a chef for all this time, sometimes you just do stupid things. This maybe is one of them. We're done. Lid on, and we're gonna let it sit on the side for 3 to 4 days. And then we strain it off and put it in the fridge. That's it. Shrub 1, done. Okay, so here we are, the next little flavor bomb. We are at, I'm gonna call it apple pie shrub, because we are going to add into it some little extras. So the first thing we're going to do is chop up these, because we learned from the last one, probably a better idea to chop them up. So we're going to chop them up and add them into here, weigh them out. Here I've added some great suggestions of flavor combos that you might want to try out. And a little bit for me. So everything's weighed, and then I'm gonna add in some cardamom pods. I'm just gonna give them a light crush with the back of my knife. And I'm gonna add in a little bit of cinnamon. That is what is gonna give this its apple pie-ness and is gonna be absolutely incredible. As you saw there, I moved from the jar to a bowl because I had a sneaky suspicion that I would not have enough room in the jar. We're having fails all over the place here today, but that doesn't matter. So I'll just cling film this up and it can just sit on the side too. And when you make them, when you first make them, they will have quite a sharp tang from the vinegar, but that mellows out because the sugar is there to draw out all the excess moisture from the fruit. And so once that moisture is drawn out from the fruit, it dilutes everything slightly. It will be absolutely delicious. And with that little addition of the cardamom and the cinnamon, sensational. So that guy we'll put there and we'll cling film him up in a minute. Okay, the third and final is tomato and basil. I know it sounds crazy, but we know tomato, basil, really good friends. With the addition of all these other little bits, this shrub infusion will be absolutely next level in like a gin and tonic or like a martini. You know, that savouriness from the tomatoes is gonna get drawn out. We're gonna have that basil flavour too. I mean, honestly, my mouth is salivating just thinking about it. So same again. And here, this is what I mean when I'm, you know, this tomato, he's just very soft. That's all, nothing wrong with him. You know, he's not moldy or anything like that. So really no issue in putting it in. All I would suggest is that you do cut out the little core because that's not really doing absolutely anything. So he can just come out. So we'll add these to the jar. And this is why I wanted to show you this one, because often at the end of summer, you could end up with loads of tomatoes on your tomato plants. So, or you might have just, you know, your tomato plants might be producing like crazy and you can't eat them fast enough. This is a great way to preserve them and save them for another time. Shovel your basil leaves in too. Tear off your scales and add in your sugar. And we'll get the other big boy of vinegar out because I thought I might run out. And again, that is it. Give it a little stir. Make sure everything's under the liquid. Squish them tomatoes a little bit. This is going to be great. I should have trusted my instincts. I thought I could have got it all in the jar. God, sometimes, you know. Now, these are just gonna sit on the side. All of the moisture is gonna be drawn out of the fruit. And what you wanna do is every now and again, just give them a little tip, because as you can see here, there's a little bit of sugar left on the bottom. So you wanna make sure that it all gets diluted. So tomorrow, I'm gonna give it a little tip. I might even give it a little taste, you know, see what's happening. And once all that sugar has dissolved, in 2 or 3 days, the vinegar flavour will have mellowed out and we can decant them and put them in the fridge, ready for drinking. And now, after being strained off and sitting in the fridge, these drinks are ready to drink. So we're going to try this Beet Kvass first. And you just want to be careful because there may still be a little bit of fizz from where it's gone into the fridge, but we're going to give it a little taste. Now, this is amazing because it's not sweet. You can make it sweet if you want. You can add in maybe a tablespoon of maple syrup, but that will also maybe give you a little bit of extra carbonation. So you do want to be careful if you add extra sugar. That means that the good yeasts in there have got something a little bit extra to feed on and it might get a little bit fizzy. But this stuff is absolutely incredible. It's so good for you first thing in the morning. It's like rehydrating because it's made with the salt. You've only got the sweetness from the carrot and the beetroots. It's got that little tiny tingle of fizz. It's absolutely delicious. I mean, I absolutely love beetroot juice anyway. And this is just so great for you because it's probiotic, it's got all that good bacteria and it's good for your belly, and just them beetroots we know are amazing for energy and getting everything going. This is an amazing drink. So next up, we are into the shrubs. We are going first with this tomato and basil. Oh my god, that is incredible. It tastes like basil and tomatoes. You know, the sweetness of the sugar brings out the sweetness in the tomato and the basil, but the vinegar brings the acidity. So it's just, all it's done is essentially enhanced every single one of them flavors that is already in it. That is what is amazing about these. But we obviously don't want to drink it straight because it's got a lot of vinegar, it's got a lot of sugar. So the way to drink them, and it is great for a mocktail, is 1 part of this to 4 parts fizzy water. 1, then we'll go 2 of these. Oh my god, honestly, if you have never made anything like this, you've got to give it a go, because the joy is that it's made from waste. So, you know, if you really hate it, you've not actually wasted too much, you know what I mean? Oh. And it's really weird because when you dilute it, the vinegariness really disappears. And you just get like the sweet basil-y tomato taste. That is an absolute win, and I suggest that every single one of you make it. Tomato and basil shrub. That, oh my god, that is absolutely delicious. We are now at the beautiful apple pie shrub. So this one has got infused in it the cardamom, oh my god, the cinnamon, the apples, the vinegar. This honestly smells incredible. And I put this in the fridge like 2 days ago, so it actually smells a little bit different from when I originally poured all of the stuff out of it. That is what's amazing with these as well. They will, like, their flavor will develop a little bit. So let's get some of that amazing cordial in there and a little splash. Obviously, I say 1 part shrub to 4 parts of your other liquid. But, you know, if you want it a little bit stronger, have a little bit stronger if you want to taste it a little bit more. But that is like apple pie. I actually think the next time, maybe even a little bit more cinnamon. Maybe put a bit more cinnamon in there. Maybe like half a stick. Oh, you know, it's such a delicate flavor. And again, it doesn't taste like vinegar in the slightest. There is no vinegar taste. It's like, it's just this sweet sour combo. And you really can taste them spices, which, as I said, you know, as I said while I was making these, just like go a bit nuts. Like, try any flavor combos that you think. Put in things like rosemary and coriander and use spices. I mean, you could even put like ginger and turmeric and all the amazing things. There is absolutely no limit to what you can do with a shrub. Oh, that is so good. And the best thing is, it's just about equal quantities, so you can do anything you want. Anything you want, anything you have got left over. Whether you live somewhere tropical, whether you live somewhere cold, whether it's winter, summer, autumn, winter, all of the seasons, whichever it is, it really doesn't matter. There's always going to be something that is abundant at that time, maybe going soft, or just like you haven't got around to using up. Fruit, vegetables, I mean, whatever it is, bloody use it up and make one of these. Oh, that is great. Oh God, it's just, you know, it's a world of opportunities making shrubs. So that's that one. Now we're gonna try the last one. Now this is the Black Doris plum. These are, you know, New Zealand. Oh my God, look at the color of it, so beautiful. But any kind of plum, I'm sure, you know, if you lived in the UK, like a damson plum would be amazing for this. Oh my God, look how pretty that is. Another absolute cracker. I do wonder, because they were ones that have been frozen, maybe they've lost a little bit of their va-va-voom, you know, but still absolutely incredible. And like, what a great thing to be able to serve to people who don't drink or want to have something that's a little bit fancy and feels a bit special. I mean, what's so nice with these, you know, you could garnish this with a dried apple slice, you could garnish the tomato with like a really beautiful sprig of basil. If you infused one with like rosemary, oh my God, just like amazing. And of course you can add them to your cocktails. I mean, it really is absolutely endless, and this is just such a great way to use up veg and fruit that might be on the way out and you just don't know what to do with it. So don't turn it into something that's just going to sit in the freezer and turn into something else that you're going to put in the bin at a later date. Turn it into something that you can drink and have something that's just really interesting and different from what you would come across in the supermarkets. Almost like kombucha vibes. But you can do it at home and you don't need the SCOBY and you don't need to wait all that extra time. It has that sweet sourness to it. Anyways, I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. It's something a bit different, and let me know in the comments down below. Are you gonna make any of these? If you do, let me know. Let me know how they taste. Did you enjoy it? Had you ever heard of these before? I love to hear from you guys, and without you supporting me and, you know, liking, commenting, subscribing, doing all the things, this can't carry on. And if you ever want to know more stuff, head on over to my website, sign up to my newsletter. Loads of different things get put out there that don't always end up making it onto YouTube. So then you can find out all the things that are coming out of the Dishes with Del kitchen. Hey, make these now and they'll be ready for Christmas. And you can dazzle all your guests with delicious treats. I'll see you all later. Cheers.